What's up, fam? It's Cam coming at you from the 2-6. Welcome back to Carolina Fragrance Reviews. So I was going through some of my decants and my bottles, and I have a lot of inexpensive luxury car brand fragrances. So I thought, you know what, this will make a good video. So what I'm gonna do is go over 10 inexpensive luxury car brand fragrances. There's a couple of them that maybe you might not consider cheap, but if you look hard enough, you'll find them at a decent deal. We'll get into those details in just a minute. Let's get into this. So what actually prompted me to put this list together is I was going through some of my decants, and I found some decants that you, the subscribers, have sent to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and address one right out the gates. This one was sent to me from Andy Hansen. Andy, I don't even know if you watch the channel anymore. If any of you know Andy, hit him up and say, hey, Cam actually acknowledged this fragrance on camera, and I feel like crap. I don't think he did that for acknowledgement. He was just being nice. A lot of you guys send stuff to me and you don't even send return addresses. I don't know any of this comes from, but he sent me, this is Mercedes-Benz Intense, and he thought that, I think it was Fahrenheit. He got a Fahrenheit, Dior Fahrenheit vibe. Yeah, and he says it sells for about 35 bucks. So yeah, these luxury car brand fragrances usually don't run that much. And of course, if you pay full retail, some of them are like 89, 99, 100, whatever. But this one goes for 35. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you real quick what I thought about this, Andy. I see what you mean, because I did let it get a full dry down. In the beginning, I wasn't so sure. It's really fresh when it opens up, but as it dries down, there is a note of violet in here that does have a slight similarity to Christian Dior Fahrenheit. And it does smell really nice. I would definitely rock this fragrance. So again, Andy, thank you. So while we're on Mercedes-Benz fragrances, I figured we would just go by each luxury car brand at a time. And Mercedes-Benz is actually the only luxury car brand that I have personally owned that's in this list. I did own, well, I don't know if you guys would consider like a Volvo a luxury brand. So we'll just leave it with the Mercedes. And Volvo don't have fragrances anyway. So the first fragrance I actually had lined up, I'm gonna have to make an honorable mention because it is not readily available. If you check all the sites, well, the majority of them, this fragrance is sold out, but I did find a bottle on eBay for 35. So if you're watching, you want this fragrance, you might wanna go ahead and cop it unless it gets gone before I can even get this video out. This is from the Mercedes-Benz VIP Club, and it was perfumed by Alberto Mariez. And I think that I have mentioned this fragrance 1 or 2 times in the past, but it is Addictive Oriental. Now this fragrance, oh man, this is really good. It's like a classy gentleman fragrance, but yet it has a sexiness and a youthful vibe to it. So when I say, you know, like it's got a gentleman vibe, I don't want you guys thinking about your dad, your granddad, or you know, whatever your age group is. This would actually be something that even a younger guy could wear, you know, like at the prom or even going on a date, because it does have a, you know, a sweet seductiveness about it. Now I mentioned that this was on eBay at 35 bucks. I did find one for 35 bucks. I also saw where it was listed at a lot of different sites, but was out of stock for like 47. So if you can find it, yeah, I think you might want to get on it. So once you get past that little synthetic thing, like in the first 20 to 30 seconds, this one opens up really nice with some lemon and mint. And then you'll get a little bit of a creaminess from fig and a very nice tonka bean dry down. So if you have not tried this puppy, I would highly recommend it if you can find it. So the next Mercedes-Benz fragrance I want to talk about is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Wow, this is such a great fragrance. The quality of this does not match the price tag, which is $58.50 if I'm not mistaken. I checked at fragrance.net. They did have it there, and Amazon I think actually had almost an identical price. It was around $57, $58, so you can even just put this one on your Amazon card if you want. And of course, it does sell for $80, $90, so you'll see that as well. But check Amazon, check fragrance.net. I know 100% sure, I think they said they had like 13 of these in stock at Amazon. So this is a sweet, smoky, and sexy fragrance. I absolutely adore this. So this is definitely gonna be more of a head-turning, compliment-garnering type fragrance. And a lot of people who know me, who know what I do as far as like reviewing fragrances, always wearing fragrances, this one has been getting a lot of attention, and sometimes when I rattle off price tags to people, they're like, bruh. And that's when I like tell them where they can go sample, or you know, where they can get it at a discount or whatever. But needless to say, you still can buy this at a relatively inexpensive price, especially for the quality. So this one has some bergamot, incense, benzoin, vanilla, and ambroxan. So yes, that ambroxan is gonna help this perform just a little bit better. I mean, it's not like beastly, but I do get some nice performance. And when it dries down to that tonka bean, oh yeah, it's very sexy. Next fragrance I'm gonna have to mention without actually holding the fragrance in my hand, because I gave it away doing a giveaway, but you guys know about Bentley For Men Intense. Y'all know that it's beastly. It is a great fragrance, you know, super high quality for the price that you pay. Bentley For Men Intense is a spicy, woody leather fragrance that is just like hyper masculine. A lot of people find it like I do. They find it very beastly, and then some people say, you know, it kind of peters off. It does depend on your skin type, but it really does project off of me. So if you're looking for that real man's man type fragrance, this is definitely gonna get the job done. Bentley For Men Intense has black pepper, clary sage, leather, patchouli, cedarwood, and sandalwood. And it is definitely a beastly bang for your buck, which will ring in right at between $27 to $30. For those of you who knew about Gucci Pour Homme or know about Gucci Pour Homme, you know, or maybe you don't know, but the best substitute, the closest thing that you're gonna get without having to pay $400 or $500 for that OG, that Gucci Pour Homme, is gonna be Bentley For Men Absolute. Now, Bentley For Men Absolute is just a very, very like lumberjack, manly, man's man, hyper masculine, woody fragrance. Now, this fragrance actually gives me almost like a walking into lumber department at Lowe's vibe, or going right after somebody has been out there with a chainsaw working all day and got a pile of lumber. That way you can go take it to, you know, stack it outside to go put in your fireplace or whatever. It does have kind of that dry, woody aspect. So I know this is not for everybody, but I absolutely adore it. Some of the notes in this are going to be ginger, black pepper, frankincense, atlas cedarwood, and sandalwood. So the next fragrance is going to be for spring or summer, when you actually can put the top down in that Bentley or whatever kind of convertible that you might be able to scoot around in and floss like you're a boss, which is going to be Bentley For Men Azure. So this is a fresh, sweet, aquatic fragrance. It's going to be absolutely perfect for the summertime. So some of the notes in this are going to be violet leaf, mandarin, pineapple, a nice tea, and a very smooth lavender. And this one can be found pretty much anywhere for 25 bucks. And all these prices that I'm giving you on all of these are for 100 ml. So if you're talking 25, 35, or even 58 bucks, or wherever we were at on that other one, for 100 ml, you're looking, you know, like 50 cents a ml, like most case scenario, or less. So that is super economic for 100 ml. Switching car brands from Bentley and going to Ferrari now, we have a fresh, aromatic, sweet fig fragrance. It is Noble Fig. This is such an easy, relaxing, fun fragrance to wear, perfect for spring and summer, but could easily be worn year-round. It does have a bit of a higher quality, especially for the price tag. Again, this one, you can cop this one for 20 bucks, maybe even cheaper. I think I saw the cheapest thing was about 17 US dollars for 100 ml. So it's super cheap, does not smell cheap, doesn't even really open synthetic to my nose. So this one opens up bright and a little bit aromatic, and then you're gonna get that fig, and then it has a slightly powdery dry down. So this one opens up fresh with some fig leaf. You also get some mandarin orange, some clary sage, and then that powdery dry down is going to be coming from a very light iris note that's in here. It's not like super irisy, so if iris doesn't work for you, that's probably not going to be much of an issue for Noble Fig. So next fragrance from Ferrari is going to be a fresh, spicy citrus fragrance. It is Radiant Bergamot. This again, high quality smelling, especially for the price tag. This one's going to ring in between $20 and $25 US if you check any of the discount sites, whether it's Fragrance X, Fragrance Net, Fragrance Buy, eBay, Amazon, all of them are going to be right there in that price range. So this one opens up with some bergamot, a pop of ginger, a little bit of nutmeg mixed with some rosemary, and then a little bit of spice from geranium. This is just a really fresh, hard not to like fragrance, just a really uplifting and bright cherry fragrance, especially for the warmer months. Next Ferrari fragrance is going to stay in that same price range between $20 and $25. It's going to be fresh, bright, aromatic, citruses mixed with some florals. It is going to be bright Neroli. What I like about this, on the opening, you get a little bit of citruses mixed with like a bitter orange note, which is really nice. You're also going to get a little bit of freshness and zestiness from a note of lemon. Obviously, you're going to have some Neroli in here, so the florals in here are primarily just going to be that Neroli, so it's not going to be like overly floral. It's not going to be like super feminine or anything like that. So don't worry about that. The majority of these fragrances are definitely, you know, straight up men's fragrances. Some could pass for more of a unisex fragrance, but as I've mentioned in the past, wear what you want when you want. I know that a lot of women even like some of the more masculine scents, but as far as like a fresh, bright, light floral fragrance, if you like Neroli, you're gonna love bright Neroli. A couple other notes that I really like in this, it kind of gives it a little bit of dimension on the dry down. You're gonna get that spiciness from some Szechuan pepper, and then the vetiver is gonna be kind of a mixture between a woody and clean vetiver. Needless to say, a must-have for just a cheap, awesome summertime fragrance. Next Ferrari fragrance, how many Uomos do you guys know? How many Uomo fragrances is there? But one good thing that I can say about a lot of the Uomo fragrances is they don't go like super dark or anything. Uomo means it's gonna have leather in it, and out of any of the Uomo fragrances that I've smelled anyway, none of them had like a dark animalic leather. As a matter of fact, this one actually has a freshness to it. So if I was to describe this fragrance, I would just say like a woody leather fragrance with a freshness. So some of the notes in this are bergamot, juniper, lemon, leather, and nutmeg. Another one that's gonna run you between $20 and $25. As a matter of fact, everything from the Ferrari line that has the cap like this, I don't even know what the official name of it is. I'm not the Ferrari guy. You could talk to Chad from A Gentleman's Journey. I'm sure he would probably know what line this is, because they do have a few different lines, and I have tried some of the ones that are even cheaper than this that sell for like $12 or $15. Just go ahead and spring for the extra $10 or whatever. They're worth it. The other ones are more of a synthetic mess that I just personally don't really care for. Okay, so the last two fragrances are going to be from Jaguar. The first one I want to mention, I don't have it in hand because I actually had a competition not too long ago. If you guys saw, I brought Desiree back. First time she'd been back in quite some time, and Jaguar Classic Black shellacked everything. I'll go ahead and leave the link for that video right here. It's a very interesting finisher. Some of the notes in this are going to be green apple, bitter orange, cardamom, and nutmeg. So that is just a nice, sexy fragrance. It's got a classic feel to it. It has a masculinity to it. It's a dressed up fragrance. You literally could get away with wearing a suit and tie with that fragrance and spend 17, 18 bucks for it. So that's a no-brainer. Last but not least is actually coming from a finished decant, and I actually went ahead and ordered a bottle of that. As a matter of fact, I went ahead and picked up another bottle of the Classic Black, and Classic Red is what was in this. So this one opens up with some berries. You've got some raspberry, blueberry, and then you're going to get a little bit of freshness from some bergamot, a little bit more sweetness with vanilla. So you've got the berries and the bergamot and the vanilla. You see where I'm going. This is a good fragrance. And then you're going to get a little bit of spice from some black pepper and some tonka bean on the dry down. It does lean kind of gourmandish, but just note that I'm saying gourmand-ish. But it's definitely got a sweetness about it that I really, really enjoy. Sweet, fruity, spicy, must have for 17, 18 bucks. And I don't know who even sent this to me, so whoever sent this out, thank you, I appreciate you. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's episode. Let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite luxury brand fragrance or fragrances? Until next time, I'll see you on Carolina Fragrance Reviews.